star, everybody come put on your video. It's LNTV, oh no 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 no, it's LNTV.
Good evening from Pinsville and welcome to this weekend's edition of LNTV News Live. 30 minutes of news from Liberia and other parts of the world. Today is Friday, March 26, 2021. I'm your anchor, Chab Davis, and stories coming up on this edition of the program. Government of Liberia commits to paving the road corridor between Mandina and Rabasport in Grand Cape Mount County. Bombing County Community College President Dr. Morba Gray dismisses allegations of hike in registration fees at the institution. Liberian Bar Association opens its annual assembly with a call on lawyers to uphold the ethics of the legal profession. And away from home officials in North Mali accuse French forces of killing 6 civilians in an airstrike. These stories plus more are all coming up on this edition of the program. Keep watching. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to the program. The government of Liberia has committed itself to pave the road between Mandina and Rabasport in Grand Cape Mount County. Speaking at a town hall meeting Friday in Tierney, President George Weah urged citizens of Cape Mount to remain patient as development is just on its way to the county.
To the Ministry of Education, all your school year will be renovated. As I said, the Rabasport Road is your pride, and we're going to do it so you can continue. I know the person I spoke, there were 10 different roads. So your 10 access, let's start from the main one, the main street. All can access the Rabasport to how far is it? The Rabasport, that's the main road that all use. So we're going to fix that. Then after we fix that, then while going forward, we will fix the rest of the road that needed. We secure 16 million United States dollars for private sector farming. And those that need agriculture, you can access some of that fund to do your farm. And to the rural women, as I said, we're doing our best to make sure that every year you have $2 billion United States dollars to do your business.
Meanwhile, President George Weah has called on citizens of Grand Cape Mount to work together for the enhancement of the county.
You can see here, you can see that Cape Mount County is a beautiful county. We all know it continues to be scarlet. We all know when we talk about professionalism, cleverness, people that understand the doctrine of teaching, and we professors, we know that Cape Mount have men and women. But then if you see Cape Man last year lying with no development, you ask the question. It's just the book. It's just going to school to have that degree. If you go to school and you don't know how to develop your people, then there is no reason for you to go to school. So you can see that you got good people, you got lawyers, you can name them. And your country stay like this. So we need all need to rethink. The president need to rethink. The legislators need to rethink that we need to get on the drawing board so we can help each other. If we don't help each other, we will not succeed. You can see it.
President George, we are addressing citizens in Sinje, Grand Cape Mount County on Friday as part of his ongoing county tour. The president of the Bombing County Community College, Dr. Morba Gray, has dismissed claims of hike in fees at the institution. Recently, some students of the college staged a peaceful protest against what they term as an arbitrary increase in registration fees at the Bombing Community College. But speaking to this station Friday, Dr. Gray denied ever increasing registration fees as claimed by the students, noting that the college is working in line with government's free tuition policy. Dr. Gray termed the students' action as politically motivated, stating that they proceeded wrongly. He further mentioned that students at the college are only allowed to pay registration and activities fees and not tuition. The president of the Liberian Bar Association says the fundamental contract of lawyers is to adhere to the rule of law. Councillor Tiawan Gonglo said upholding every provision of the Code of Professional Ethics and Morals is pivotal for the legal profession. He said anything contrary to upholding the legal ethics will undermine the rule of law in the country. Councillor Gonglo made the remarks Friday at the start of a two-day National Assembly of the Liberian Bar Association in Bento, Moserado County. The assembly is being held under the theme upholding the fraternity of the legal profession in promoting adherence to the rule of law. The Ministry of Health has launched a vaccination campaign to protect children against the crippling polio virus. The novel polio vaccine will be administered to children under 5 years of age, and the campaign will run for 5 days across the country. Launching the polio vaccination campaign in Sinko on Friday, Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jala urged parents to ensure that their children are vaccinated.
I'm not a non-speech giver, but I just want all of us to know, especially the parents, that this vaccine will save lives, it will prevent disability, and it will prevent our children from dying. Dr. Moeti said it right. She said we must stay vigilant and keep up vaccination rates to avert any reinsertion of the wild polio virus. And we must continue to address and continue to fight all of the threats that affect our children. Today is a special day for the children. Children have short skin, so we can't make things too long for them. But we added a birth registration to this piece because it's important that all of our children have a birth certificate. We don't want you to be 79 years old and you're looking for your birth certificate. So we want them to have it now because it's important that the future of school will only register children if they have a birth certificate and a vaccination card. So when we go to that, we want to make sure that all of the almost 1 million children that we are going to be registering have their birth registration as well as the novel poliovirus 2 vaccine. And to all of the parents out there, this is a door-to-door campaign.
Well, during the launch, UNICEF representative Lida Gard reiterated that the vaccine is safe and free.
And it's easy. 2 drops of the vaccine save a child. They save a child from the effects of crippling, the possibility of being crippled, and in some cases death. So the vaccine works, and we're delighted that we're starting this campaign in all of the counties of Liberia today. I also would like to congratulate the vision of the Minister of Health in conducting an integrated polio and birth registration campaign, because we know that we also miss out, some of the children miss out on birth registration. And therefore, as we are conducting the polio campaign, it is being integrated with birth registration. Again, it's a source of pride to be part of this moment in Liberia's history, and we congratulate the leadership, the Minister of Health, and we look forward to work with you over the next days to see how the vaccine is, the campaign is rolling on, and to share this success story with the world. So let's go out and vaccinate our children. Thank you very much.
The Liberia National Police, the LNP, has released Unity Party Secretary General Muhammad Ali after unconditionally dropping charges against him. Speaking to this station Friday, police spokesman Moses Carter said Ali was released on orders of Justice Minister Councillor Musa Dean.
Mr. Ali has been released. He has been unconditionally released through the orders of the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, Councillor Frank Musa Dean.
What triggered the unconditional release of Mr. Mo Ali?
This is in the best wisdom of the Attorney General, and it's something that I just don't want to speak to, because our institution or institutions are regimental. We take orders. And so in the best wisdom of the Minister of Justice, he thought that we release Mr. Ali unconditionally.
Do we expect further proceeding amidst the current decision?
Well, we are not going to proceed further. The charges have been dropped, and by the orders of the Attorney General. And so the only thing we can do is we can continue to urge the citizenry to be very, very meticulous in the utterances that they make. We understand that freedom of speech is guaranteed under the Constitution of Liberia, but every freedom of speech or every freedom comes with a responsibility.
Liberia National Police Chief of Community Services Samuel Ford is urging citizens to stop labeling the police as partisan police and call on the public to strengthen their confidence in the police. He spoke Friday at the end of a 2-day post-elections lesson learned dialogue in Monrovia.
Issue of Kennedy being allowed a police officer, that thing was being arranged at the station of the Liberia National Police. The LRP Inspector General made a lot of press conferences with that, now with agreement with the political party candidates. So with that aspect. And also the allegation of police being labeled as partisan police. This is an old age thing. I have been in the police for quite 60 years, you know. With the kind of experience I have from the down to the up, you know, I've got to understand that if a regime take over, you know, they're going to call you, last year they were calling you LA police, you know, and now again they are calling you CDC police. So, you know, this kind of layer is something that the people themselves try to do. That is a phenomenon that has been carried out in every regime change. They label the Liberia National Police as partisan police, but we are not partisan police. The same police that were yesterday there, it is the same old police officer that is still within the Liberia National Police is controlling this election period. And also, the issue of constraint and budget. You know, every time the police is like, they are putting in a scenario like when they say a woman is about to give birth, the woman pregnant, and then it's something very difficult. And they call you, man, Samuel, the woman just gave birth. You know, the next thing now is you don't have the even money to be able to gather other things for the baby and to even release the woman from the hospital. That's the kind of stage the LNP sometimes we are in, but people don't understand.
We're also speaking LNP Head of Operation and Planning Unit Chief Superintendent T. Max Brown outlined challenges the police face during elections in the country.
Mission of the Liberia National Police. The mission of the Liberia National Police was to coordinate security plan aimed at creating an enabling security environment for peaceful conduct of special senatorial election and national referendum while protecting the people of Liberia and foreign citizens. These are the very objectives: to prevent all forms of violence against candidate, political party, establishing a person during and after the process of the election, to prevent attack on election workers and all present at voting center, to prevent theft and looting of election facility and material, to regulate traffic during political rally and voting deeds, to investigate all crime and disorderly acts and apprehend individuals who may conduct such acts. Lastly, to provide maximum security for the protection of the citizens of the Republic of Liberia, PRP, foreign residents, during after the election period. The number of voters nationwide, we have the registered voter left give us 2,476,350 registered voters. We have the number of polling places. We have 5,911 polling places. There was a polling places that police would cover. We have had to reach Ava. We have upper Liberia and the region into 6. We have region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4, region 5, region 6. And all of these regions we have, we call the National Command Post. There's a situation room, like the way you're talking about a room, a situation room that collects data for all the happenings that took place and send it down to Central to the main room.
Well, for his part, Peace Building Office Executive Director Edward Moba called on opposition political parties to bring forth problems affecting them during elections when called upon.
So the political parties will actually expect a lot, and you gotta impress on your leadership. The different leaderships, you know, when you invite them, sometimes they are hesitant to come. You see, it's because the good of the country, it should be the good for everyone. And if you are government waiting, you want to see the best out of this, you want to see the best for your people, for the country, or for the citizens. It's about now that you come and share how things are with respect to the election that went on, and what you think, what are some of the lessons, and how can we correct or improve. You see, how can we improve on some of the issues, on some of the things that happened? But you invite the political parties, they come at a very low level, and sometimes they come late, sometimes they don't come at all. You see, it's not healthy for the relationship, it's not healthy for our democracy. We have to change the order of the day. We need to begin now. If I say changing the order means we have to improve on the different ways things have been done, the different processes, the different things that will strengthen efforts around sustaining the peace. We got to begin now.
Edward Moba is the Executive Director of Liberia's Peace Building Office. A reminder, if you just joined us, that you are watching RNTV News Live, 30 minutes of news from Liberia and other parts of the world. On this Friday, March 26, 2021 edition of the program, I'm your anchor, Chab Davis, and stories we are following. Government of Liberia commits to pave the road corridor between Mandina and Robertsport in Grand Cape Mount County. Bombing County Community College President Dr. Moba Gray dismisses allegations of a hike in registration fees at the institution. Liberian National Bar Association opens its annual assembly with a call on lawyers to uphold the ethics of the legal profession. And away-from-home officials in North Timali accuse French forces of killing 6 civilians in an airstrike. More stories are still ahead of this edition of the program. Keep watching. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to the program. Foreign Minister Maxwell Kimaya has announced the resumption of the provision of legal services at the ministry following the discovery of fraud in the system. Addressing a news conference Thursday, Minister Kimaya said a moratorium remains on issuance of laissez-passer, noting that only emergency cases will be considered.
Effective Friday, March 26, 2021, the services in relation to obtaining corporate jackets, apostees, and laissez-passer, that those services will resume effective Friday, March 26, 2021. However, I would like to reiterate that for laissez-passer, the moratorium remains in effect unless for emergency cases and where there is application, such application will be reviewed, or applications will be reviewed on a case-by-case basis, and where necessary or appropriate, be authorized by the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
At the same time, the foreign minister said following the discovery of the syndicate, or payments for such services will be done directly at the Liberia Revenue Authority.
All of the fees just being announced will not be paid at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They will neither be paid to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Instead, these fees will be paid to any LRA booth. In essence, or simply saying, the payments will be made to the government of Liberia's account. You will obtain a flag receipt, and that flag receipt, you will proceed with that flag receipt told the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you will then be able to show your flag receipt, and based on authentication or validity, you will then be rendered the services.
Liberian Foreign Minister D. Maxwell Kimaya. A call has been made for Liberians to rally their support for the development of the country. The comment was made Friday by Riverview County District No. 1 Representative Alexander Paul during his first media briefing weeks after resigning from the opposition or Liberian Party for the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change.
My decision was triggered as a result of my personal conviction and belief, and also with the support and the cry and the call from my people that I represent.
When you say the call by your people, what do you mean?
My people that I represent, as you may be the word that the executive, precisely the appointees of the executive serve at the will and pleasure of the president. So I, as a legislator, am of no different. I also serve at the will and pleasure of the people that I represent. So I am saying this to mean that my people, petitioned me and they called upon me to join the party. And besides that, I said, based upon my personal conviction, I believe that it is necessary that I bring my energy, my expertise, and all of my experience on board, in as much as this government is comprised of 3 branches of government, and I form part of one of the branches of the government. So that I feel that it is necessary, it is important that I bring my energies, I bring my experience, I bring my expertise on board to help the government to succeed for the benefit of the greater majority of the Liberian people.
Let's take Pana FN and then we'll take Seaman.
Was the decision on his take one? What happened to the political party that you come from? Was it discussed? Have you officially finalized your membership with the CDC?
Yeah, you will see documents here in my possession. I have turned in my resignation with my party, my former party, the ALP.
The executive director of Sisters Hand Liberia, Miata Gray, has strongly condemned rape and every form of sexual and gender-based violence against women and girls. Madam Gray wants perpetrators of violence against girls, especially babies, to be brought to justice. She spoke recently in Monrovia.
So rape, when I start working in the county, we're getting 5 rape cases from the county. Today we somewhere we get there, but there is no excuse for rape. Whether a child is naked, there's no manner of dress code can make anybody. I was in my father's house, I was naked, I was not swim, and nobody does me. Why now? So there's no excuse for that. Whether somebody 9 years old or 8 years old, is she naked? No. So we should condemn this thing in a stronger term, and perpetrators should be brought to justice. We are doing that in Cape Town, creating visceral awareness on rape. Perpetrators belong in jail. Whether it's your father, your grandfather, your uncle, your nephew, rapists belong to jail and maximum prison. So we say no to it. Sister here, we stand to say no to every violence against women and children. It's not the atmosphere for it. This is in 21st century. We can't have women being abused or babies being raped. It's a huge rate of child molestation in the county right now. Child Solomon.
She's Miata Gray, the executive director of Sisters Hand Liberia, condemning rape in the strongest term. And away from Liberia, officials in northern Mali have accused French forces of killing 6 civilians in an airstrike. They say the victims were young males who were hunting birds in the Gao region. They had a single rifle between them. France says the strike hit Islamist militants. This is the second time this year that the French Barkhane force, which operates across the Sahel, has been accused of killing civilians in Mali. In January, France denied it had attacked a wedding party, saying it had killed 30 jihadists in an airstrike. To end this news, let's recap the stories we follow. Government of Liberia commits to paving the road corridor between Madina and Robertsport in Grand Cape County. Bomi County Community College President Dr. Morba Gray dismisses allegations of hike in registration fees at the institution. Liberian Bar Association opens its annual assembly with a call on lawyers to uphold the ethics of legal profession. And away from home, officials in North Mali accuse French forces of killing 6 civilians in an airstrike. Join us on Monday morning when we'll be back here with another edition of the program. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Liberia National Television, my name is Chap Davis, wishing you the best from Painesville. Bye-bye and have a blessed weekend.
Big Hands Music. LNTV, oh, nobody better than you. Everything you do is so brand new. Nobody clearer than you. Information you bring